set to turn.
Yeah, 10-year now yielding the lowest since May 18th.
Turn the volume down on this news. Good morning. I'm gonna get right to it, y'all, because the bell's about to ring. Hello, my name is Sandra, and welcome to my channel, From Lack to Legacy. On this channel, we're all things money, investing, and mindset, particularly how to go from a scarcity mindset to a mindset of abundance. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, welcome. Please stay. Marilyn, you know what to do. Let me know. Y'all know the situation. You know where I am. So let's go ahead. We can start looking at QQQ this morning too. And let's see what the market is doing. See how the day is getting started. Oh, shucks. Y'all, we should do a scalp. One morning, we should do a scalp. Like we should have scalped probably forward today. And a scalp is where you get in and get out really. It drops so quickly. I'm going to look and see if forward might be a good scalp this morning. I don't know. No, we'll see. Looks like we'll see. But I'll show you guys if I can. I'm making coffee too, just so y'all know, because I'm going to need this coffee tonight. So let me just pour some water over here. Yellow coffee going. How is everybody? My sister Marilyn, man, does not miss a beat. Marilyn called me. She said, girl, you good? I'm good. I'm here. This morning thing is something. Hey, Natasha. Hey, Emma. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Well, maybe we can see a scalp is a very quick trade. It's where you get in and get out very quickly. And of course, today I'm pay trading. You can tell, ooh, I don't know. You all know what? Just because Ford is acting up, I'm going to go ahead and purchase one Ford. Yeah, just to see. I'm going to purchase one. Well, it's paper money. I'm going to buy a couple puts. 1201. So buy. I'm going to buy them with our OCO. I'm going to do the right thing. Buy custom. OCO bracket. Here's our thing. So we're just going to hit confirm and send. And then I'll go back and explain to anybody who's new what we just did. Oh my gosh, looking forward just dropping. I'm going to do another one. I'm going to purchase it as a market order. I'm going to buy custom again, but I'm going to change it to a market order. Limit. We're going to mark it in. I wonder why it won't let me do it like that. And we'll see what happens.
What's up? When people work at home and they're done work, party. 4:35, the bars are packed. Just try to get in.
I've never had a market order not go straight through. Okay, so there's our market order. And I purchased 10 contracts of Ford because I'm thinking maybe we could do a really quick morning scalp. And a scalp is where you get in the market and you get out quickly, but you generally have to get the direction correct. That's really all you're trying to do, is make sure either you're deciding that you're going to buy a call in case the price goes up. That's your thesis. Or if you think the price is going to go down, then you would purchase what we call a put. So that's something very basic. If you know what, I would suggest maybe you all take out some pencil and paper. Like, y'all know I taught kindergarten in third grade for forever. So, man, take some notes, y'all. Something very basic like that. A call is what you purchase when you think the price is going to go up. A put is what you purchase when you think the price is going to go down. So let's see what's happening. We got some stuff outstanding here. I don't know what that stuff is. I got to go back and look and see. Oh, Tesla. We have some old Tesla. Good Lord, a second express June 2nd. Who knew? Okay, so Tesla, these are old Tesla contracts. And Tesla is, we were down, I don't even know when we purchased those. We must have purchased those on Thursday, and I didn't sell them because we are down 75 today. Three, let's see, is it three puts? Oh, those are calls. What? But look at that, y'all. These are old calls. Let's see. Let me look at Tesla right quick. My bad. Yeah, look at Ford. Yeah. Well, we'll make a little bit of money on Ford this morning. Okay, so I'll stay focused. We purchased 10 Ford puts. And let's see what they did. That's what we want to see, the Ford puts. So we made $20 on Ford so far. 5, it's going back and forth. But look at these Tesla calls. I need to get over there and see Tesla. That's what I need to see. That might have been a better scalp. Tesla must have hit.
What does this say? Okay, so Snowflake came on.
How in the, what the heck?
And I said, come on, Frank, you can't be this bad. And he said, no, Jim. I mean, come on. Like, Jim, like, do the homework. And, Frank's tough guy.
Okay. So I'm going to look at our watch list and then go back. I just wanted to jump in. I thought maybe I could show you a morning scalp. If Tesla goes down, not Tesla, but if Ford goes down a little bit more, we might be on to something. Look at Tesla. Everybody's hitting the ground. Look at this.
He said, I thought
Public.
that they wanted me to go for cash flow.
Okay.
So I went and did
turn this down a little. You all see how crazy this watch list is going? I'm trying to see if there's anything that stands out to me. BA is Boeing. Boeing's up. NVIDIA is always good to watch. NVIDIA is one of the AI leading companies in AI, artificial intelligence. So we always want to keep our eye on NVIDIA. Microsoft is good to be watching. All those tech companies. I'm trying to see what is NVIDIA doing. 1.6, 1.2. Up $6 since close. That happened overnight. Yeah, I think we can kind of just settle in. Especially, I would never swing Tesla. Tesla's very volatile. By volatile, I mean the price fluctuates so in a day. I would never swing trade Tesla contracts. And by swing trade, I mean you hold those overnight. So let's get started with some basics. We can let these charts do what they're doing since we're just doing paper money today. We can let these do whatever. Is this NVIDIA? Y'all, I hate to miss a move. Y'all, wait a minute. Okay. NVIDIA looks like they had some news. NVIDIA. Oh, they paid a dividend of 4 cents. Hell no. We'll let the market settle. Let me get over here and see what y'all doing. Eye on Tesla. Oh no. Tesla's TSLA. Oh, and SoFi. Yeah, I got that, Marilyn. Yeah, Chris Sain suggested keeping an eye on it. Yes, I think he suggest purchasing SoFi now? He gave a buy too. Yep, keep an eye on Tesla. Tesla's always one to watch. Tesla is fun to trade, but not I would never swing trade it. It's just too volatile. The market's too volatile, to be honest with you. But let's take a peek at it. Because she's near some key. Let's see. Oh, nice little crossover. Okay, so we will purchase a. I am gonna go ahead and try to swing, not swing, but scalp Tesla. Let's get over there. Let me just get it real quick. Tesla. This is the one that we left open. I don't even know why. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what I was thinking because I usually would never leave it open. Ooh, but look at these deltas and thetas. Yikes. Ew. Hopefully we can get in and out of it. So let me just purchase. I'm going to buy with a custom order. And I'll go back and explain all of this, you guys. Let's just get in there and get out and see what we can do with Tesla this morning. We'll see. I'm going to close those other ones out, though, that I left swinging, which I should have never done. So let me see if I can close those out. Let's see.
Good relationship with Saf. Get them on.
But Oracle shares, look at that move they've had.
No,
I mean,
because-
down a little bit today.
Jensen
Okay,
said-
so
Jensen
what's
said, watch
happening
Oracle.
with Tesla?
When I left out Oracle of like who
Well,
was.
the Oracle Cloud also
We're
people are
up.
going to, aren't they?
Yes,
Yeah.
I said, look, it's Amazon, right? It's Google.
Tesla
it's
so
Microsoft.
far
He goes, it's Oracle.
9:15
Interesting too,
today.
Jensen's comments today.
I'll hold
and
those.
last
This
night at
I'm
in
not
Taiwan
pleased
about
with. I don't know if you
Taiwan
guys can
supply.
see
I thought
this,
that was
Says he
great.
feels
but we
pretty good.
purchased
Even though when I
these
talked to Gary
back
Dickerson from AMAT, there's a national imperative to get it here.
on
That's Gina
Tuesday,
Raimondo.
Wednesday,
But
Thursday. So they've been sitting.
Commerce Secretary. Huge position
But
in Taiwan.
since
So
it's
Gary
going up, we
Dickerson,
might
by
as
the
well
way,
try to make
reminds
some of
us
that money
the real
back.
intellectual property in
These are
semis
the
comes
3
from
contracts
the
for
actual
Tesla that I
machines.
purchased today.
Yeah, actually, it's a great piece of
And
sound that's worth listening to.
just
Yeah.
for an
This is Dickerson with Jim
example
last night.
of a scalp, it's up $45. We just purchased them. They've made $45. We purchased those 4 contracts this morning. They're worth $15. They're up $15. I think I'm gonna still dump this because I don't want this to be confusing to what we're doing for today. We'll go back to it. Okay, so let's get over here and watch this chart. What was I looking at? We'll see what happens. The market is all over the place this morning. That's one thing we could talk about. You guys see all this? Chop. Good traders aren't in the market, y'all. Real traders are sitting on the sidelines. We playing around. We playing around for sure this morning. Let's see. Did something sell us out? Did anything stop us out? Oh, shoot. Tesla stopped us out. I guess they say you won't be losing no money today. And these must not have us. I'm going to start out fresh. Y'all nix all of that. Create a closing order. Confirm and sell. I'm going to start all over. Start us out fresh. We start out with a little teaching session. Okay, so let's see. We're going to start with a fresh slate. So we dumped all that Tesla stuff. Done. Tesla's out of there. Even though for today, those old Tesla contracts that we had made $825, but they had lost so much. To me, that doesn't even count. I don't even want to look at that. What I do want to look at is these 4 contracts that we purchased this morning. That's fresh. We just purchased those today. And those contracts are up $35. That makes sense. We purchased 10 Ford contracts. They were 14 cents a piece, which really means $14. So we invested $140. And on that $140, we made $45. Not bad. We purchased 10, let me see. I think we purchased puts. Move out the way. Yep, we purchased 10 puts. I'll go back and explain all of that. Let's go look at this Ford chart so I can show you what we did in retrospect. Okay, yeah. There we go. So let's go back. I'm going to go do something really basic. And I like trading with Ford, especially for teaching. So this is a ticker. If you don't know, now you know. This letter here in this box is the letter F. It stands for Ford. Each equity goes by their own unique ticker. Tesla's TSLA, Amazon's AMZN, NVIDIA's NVDA. And so that little shorthand is called a ticker. And on Thinkorswim, the ticker is here. So Ford is what we're looking at. And I think it opened at about 12, a little bit above $12 and some change. And you can see that the price has dropped all the way to $11.91. So we purchased 10 puts. So let me make sure. 10 contracts. And we're hoping that the price continues to go down. As that price goes down, we make money because that was our thesis. And so far, we've made $45, $55 on those Tesla contracts. So y'all know I'm sleepy on these Ford contracts. Okay, Ford. Here's what we purchased. We purchased 10 contracts. Here's the trade price. It says 14 cents here, but because when you purchase an options contract, you're actually controlling 100 shares of stock. So instead of it really being 14 cents, it's really $14. So we paid $14 for one Ford contract. Because they're so inexpensive, I purchased 10 contracts at $14 a piece, which means our actual investment is a little over $140. And that's what I'm telling y'all, Ford can make money. I don't care what anybody says. So we invested $140 and some change. And so far we've made $60 on that $140. Not bad for 10 minutes of work. And so for somebody like me, an investor like me, I'm not trying to break the bank. I'm not trying to get rich quick. I'm not trying to make $1 million. I'm not trying to save the house. I'm not trying to do any of those things. I am trying to make a wise investment. And a wise investment is one that is well thought out. You have a thesis. And I had a thesis this morning that Ford price would go down. And of course, Ford's price is going down. And so I purchased those puts. Again, if you think the price of a stock is going to go down, you would purchase a put. If you think the price of a stock is going to go up, you would purchase what we call a call. And one way to remember that is that when your phone rings, you pick it up. When someone calls, you put it down, put down, when the call is over. So call, up, pick it up, put it down for puts. Puts are down. And guys, we've made $75 sitting here doing nothing in our pajamas because I'm in my PJs. Y'all getting ready for the day. I'm getting ready for bed. So $75, we could cash this out. But what I'm going to do is go back over here and look at this chart and see how likely, Lord, look at this. Look at Ford tanking, Lord Jesus, Lord, Lord, Lord. You all know in real life, I got some Ford calls. I need to probably just go cash some joints out. I'll maybe do it on my phone. But this is what we're looking for. Do you see how clean this trend is? Look at this. These are our candlesticks, and candles represent price action. What actually is happening in the market with the price of a particular stock or equity. And we can see clearly they're red, clearly they're trading underneath these simple moving averages. The only one that they aren't underneath is, wait a minute, let's see, our 200. I'd have to pull out to see where that 200 is. But you can also look here, look at the volume. I think when I saw this volume, so much volume, so many sellers, you could clearly see that there were lots of sellers at the opening bell. And so really they're just dumping this. Here is our MACD. Our MACD is our trend indicator, and I'm a trend trader. I trade on a trend. I'm looking for just this. And we might want to cash out of these really quickly because look at this. The trend is starting to change. And I can tell that this trend is starting to change from looking at my MACD because remember, if you look at these, how bright red they were, and they kept getting bigger and bigger. And suddenly now they aren't so bright red. It's this very dark red. That is an indicator that this trend is changing. That's our MACD. The MACD helps you determine, if the trend's going up, if it's going down, is this trend waning, waxing? What is it doing? Is it getting stronger? And so I'm going to just sit with this one for a little while because it just seems to be vacillating. Did you see it was red? It was green. It was red. They're not sure quite what they want to do. And we talked about when the market is indecisive, you will see what's called a doji candle. And every time that candle turns gray, you see that gray candle, that's a doji. When you see it, it's got a long wick and a very thin body. That's called a doji. So that gray right there. And what that signifies is indecision. Yeah, we're watching it. We're watching it vacillate between red and green, red and green. They can't make up their mind. Are buyers in control? Are sellers in control? We don't know. So ultimately, at the end of this 2 minutes, I want to see how this candle closes. If it closes green, that's a sign to me. And it depends, like how big this body is. If the body's really big, see, look at that. The price didn't change much, but I'm going to be looking to see. But what is probably more concerning for me at this point, and maybe more of an indicator that we did have a good morning scalp, is look at this. So let's go. We're going to take this $65 and get out of here. That's a scalp. Close, create a closing order. I'll leave a few runners. I'm going to sell, we'll leave 2 runners just in case. So I'm going to sell 8 of those 10 and we'll leave 2 out there. So let's see what we took out. So we wound up taking $57 out of those contracts. That's a scalp, folks. And a scalp is a very quick trade. You're in it for less than 30 minutes. That was a perfect example of a scalp. We got in at the morning bell. We got the direction correct. We said that we think the price is going to go down. The price did go down. We purchased those contracts really quickly, and we made a quick on forward. So far, we've made $59. Well, remember, I purchased 10 of them. Just a second ago, I only sold 8. I didn't sell them all. I could have, and we could have just cashed that money out. But I left 2, and you can see that right here. I left 2 of those 4 contracts they're still out there. They're still working. Because we don't know. Maybe the price will continue to go down. And if the price continues to go down as it is, we're still making money. So we just made $15 on those 2 contracts that are still open. So I'll keep an eye on those. Yeah. So we still have our limit, our stop limit and everything in place. And we'll see what happens with those. The price is down to $11.86. We'll see what happens. Okay, so that was a lot of information really quickly. Let me just check in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to go back over the 3 different kinds of trades that you can do. If this goes up too much, I don't want us to lose any money. I will stop this trade myself because so far with Ford, we made $59. And I don't like to give any profit back. I'm sorry. I don't care. I do not, because my goal for the day, what I was going to say, is like $100. I'm not even trying to get rich. Just think about it. If you trade 3 days a week and you make $100, that's an additional $300 a week. If you do that 4 weeks out of the year, out of the month, that's an additional $1,200 a month. I don't know about y'all, but additional $1,000 a month for what we just did, because the truth is you could just walk away. We could just be like, yep, I made my $60 for today. Definitely, if I make $100, I will walk away. I will cash it out. It doesn't mean I might trade something else, but I would definitely cash out $100. See profit, take profit. Y'all, if you follow Chris Sane, you'll hear him say that over and over and over again. When you see profit, take it. This is not gambling. We are in this to invest and make money. We took $140 and made $61, just like that. I don't know any place in the world where you can make $61 sitting in your pajamas. And we didn't take out a pencil or a pen. This is why I trade, because I understand the potential. $140. Where else can you invest? You can't, where else can you invest $140 and you're in total control of that money? So easy breezy. I'll leave those. And then let's just go over what we saw. And let me go back to the chart so we can see. Looks like it's just going to do a little sideways something. Okay, now let's look at these indicators again. I'm going to see how it responds to this SMA, if it's going to go through it or what, because I don't want that price to get up too high. I'm thinking if it gets up to 1195, 1190, yeah, 1195 for sure, I'm coming out. We'll see. I'm going to look at Market Watch. And if you are following along and you have your Thinkorswim simulated trading, your paper trading screen open, if you go to Market Watch, and I do all public companies, you can kind of see what kind of day it's going to be. I have gone over to Market Watch and that thing is bright green. That's a great day. That's a good day to probably be buying calls, because the green, of course, indicates that these stocks are moving in a positive direction. What's TM? Toyota. What's Toyota doing? We might need to check out Toyota, you all. Toyota is looking good. And NVIDIA, I don't know what this is. BIDU. Baidu Inc. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that stock is. Anybody know what that is? All you have to do is say it, and Maryland will be on it. TSM, we looked at TSM the other day. That's Taiwan Semiconductors. They're along the lines of NVIDIA. They're in the chips, into making chips. They are, they're somebody to watch too. They should be on our watch list. Okay, let's get back to this chart. Yeah, I don't know. Ford's doing, we've got these two yellow bars coming in on our TTM squeeze. You can see we were in a clear downtrend. Now we aren't. I'm selling. I won't get back any money, y'all. No. Let's get rid of these last two. Create a closing order. That's a good scalp. We're out. We're out of Ford. We made $58. I think at the height, I can't remember what the highest profit was, but I'll take that $58 this morning in a quick scalp. So we could go in and find another trade, but that is a scalp. So let's go back and I'll talk about the 3 different kinds of trades. There are, what we just did this morning is a scalp. That means you get in, you get out fast. You're in the trade for less than certainly less than 30 minutes. The next kind of trade is called a day trade. That's where you purchase an equity sometime during the day, but you also sell it before the end of the market close that day. That's a day trade. A swing trade is where you purchase a contract or multiple contracts at some point in the day and you hold them overnight. You can hold them for a day. You can hold them for as long as a year. Those are called leaps. Leaps are long term, certainly longer than 2 weeks, 3 weeks. If we start talking about holding a contract for months up until a year, those are called leaps. And you can hold them beyond that, actually. So I certainly never do leaps. I'm a new trader. I'm just trying to focus on the 3 things I know. And basically, I like to scalp, which is get in and get out real quickly when I see an opportunity. And I like to day trade. I purchase it sometime generally before noon, and then I'm out of it before the close of the bell that night, that day, at the end of the trading day. So again, there are 3 types of trades that you can do, 3 common trades. Scalping, real quick, that's what we did this morning. We looked at the chart. The Ford looked like it was tanking, and it surely did. We can go back and look at that chart again to see if it's continuing to look. And we got out just in time. You see how it was down. This was a downward trend. As a trend trader, this is what I'm looking for. Let me close this out. Why isn't that? Yeah. Let's see. Okay. So, yes. And we jumped on this downward trend right away that this morning. We made the $60, around $60. And we could see the trend actually changing to an upward trend right in front of our faces. So let me tell you what I was looking at. What made me say, yes, time to get out of this trade. It's time to go. Well, we could look at our volume bars, and you see it says volume here. And volume simply means how many players are in the game. At any moment of the day, this is a market. Just envision a big fruit market. There are buyers and sellers present all the time. There are people there who got fruit to sell. There are people there who are purchasing fruit. That's what a market is. This is no different. We are actually in the stock market. And in the stock market, you're purchasing or selling stocks. And that happens all day. And volume simply tells us how many people are in the market at that time. And so for the first, I'll also show you guys this. I'm looking at our chart. It's on the 2-minute time frame. So that means every one of these candlesticks that you see represents 2 minutes of selling. So in the first 2 minutes of the day, the price started out at 1207. It got as low as 1201 in 2 minutes. That was, that's a lot. That's a big change. And you can see there were a lot of sellers. These red bars for volume, if they're red, it tells us that there are more sellers at that particular time. That's all. When you see a green bar, it tells us there are more buyers present. And that's, keep in mind your fruit market kind of analogy. The first 2 minutes of the day, they were selling fruit like crazy. And then the second 2 minutes of the day, okay, they're still selling fruit, more sellers, but you can see that the volume diminished greatly. And you can just tell that by the size of the bar. If you wanted to actually know the quantity, you could look over. As I'm running this bar up and down, you can see how these numbers right here are changing. So you can actually come up with a quantity. They'll give you the actual number of people that are in the market. I'm not so concerned about the actual number. I just have this visual representation here of how many people. So we like it when there's a lot of volume, because a lot of volume means there's a lot of volatility. There's some momentum. Things are happening. And so we could see selling. Okay, some buyers came in. The price got low enough. It got attractive. The price got down to $11.94. And for somebody, they say, okay, at $11.94, I'm buying some Ford. And they purchased. There were more buyers here, but that didn't last very long. Our downward, the price going down, continued. And what we did in our scalp, our prediction was correct that the price was going to go down, and the price actually got all the way down to $11.84. And so somewhere around here, remember we were looking at this candle and I was saying, man, this signifies some indecision here. When you see these little thin bodies, these long wicks and thin bodies, this candle looks very different from this candle and this candle and this one. This one tells us clearly people are selling this stuff. They're selling it fast as they can. This is a signal to us when these candles look like this. So that's when I said, well, wait a minute, you guys. We might need to get ready to get out of this trade. And I think somewhere around here, we sold 8 of those contracts because we talked about this too. While this shows us volume, our MACD, if you can see this, our MACD helps us understand the trend. And we were right. It was a downward trend. You see how these are red? They started out bright red. They were tiny. And they started to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. As the price is going down with more, I would say, what's the word? With more momentum, these just keep getting bigger and bigger. Price is really going down, and it's going down really quickly. But remember, we saw this come in and it changed colors. It's like, whoa, and they start to diminish in size. This shows us that the downward trend is coming to an end. And now we're moving into an upward trend. We started out with these little small green bars, and they're getting taller and they're getting bigger. And so that's our MACD really kind of helps us understand where we are in a trend. Is it a downward trend? Yes. Is it going great for us? Yes. Something's changing. And if you look at your candlesticks, that's exactly what's happening. We were able to get out the bulk of our, and take our profit because I was looking at it. We're sitting right here watching it. Then if you watch here, do you guys see where these right here, our yellow line was on top of the blue line? Do you see this crossover here? It crossed over. Now the blue line is on top of the yellow. Well, guess what? Now we're in an upward trend. And you can see that from the MACD. These are still very bright green. They're getting bigger. And there's a value to those too. You can run this little line. It'll tell you the value. And what do you see? Price is doing exactly that. Generally, when I see a candle like this and it breaks through one of these simple moving averages, the way that did, and then here comes another one, it breaks through this one. Yeah, that's a pretty good indicator that, okay, this may be something to pay attention to because it's breaking through. These were the average prices. Now it's trading above the 9-day average. Now we're trading above the 20-day average. And so it was a good time for us to get out of that trade because our thesis was that price was going to go down, and we rode it down. And when price starts to go up, we're not making money anymore. Now we're losing money. This is what we would say, oh, the trade is going against us because our thesis was price was going to go down. So what makes this a good scalp is that, let's see, it was 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. I would say 20 minutes of price dropping. And again, remember I said that a scalp is a quick trade. It's one of those trades you get in, you get out. It's definitely less than an hour. Most scalpers are really in and out 15 minutes. I've heard people say when you're scalping, We're here for a good time. We're not here for a long time. We're not trying to hang around. We just want to get in and get out. And that's what we did. Something else that helped me decide when to get out of that scalp is our RSI. You can see at the beginning of the trading day, you can see our RSI was near the top. This top value here is 70. And you can see really quickly, it hit like the ground. It went from the top all the way to the bottom. When you see this blue here, you see how that color changes blue. Once it starts to hit this is 30. This is a value of 30. It went basically from 70 all the way down to 30 very quickly, just like we see here. Price dropped really quickly. This down here, we call that oversold. Yes, they sold. It's oversold. And it stayed oversold, just like this. Price continues to drop. And then look, it started to cross over. Certainly, if we didn't get out when we saw this big green volume bar here, when we saw these reds turn to this darker red, if we didn't get out there, you definitely would have gotten out here. When you see that it's no longer oversold, it's starting to cross back over this. That definitely would have been a sign for me to get out of that trade, as is our lemon squeeze. I call it the lemon squeeze. It's really called a TTM squeeze. But our TTM squeeze was telling us the same thing. Look at this. They started out really tiny red. They got really big. Prices going down. Red means down. It's always red means prices going down. Red prices going down. These red volume bars, our red candles, everything was red. Once we saw these start to come in yellow, the trend is changing. This is nothing but colors, folks. Nobody's used a calculator. We haven't, nothing. Trading for me, I think anybody can trade if you can notice patterns. If you notice patterns, if you have a keen eye for watching, and what we're looking for is not just one indicator. I didn't just look at volume and say, okay, well, here comes this green bar. It's time to go. No. What I want to see is I want my MACD, my RSI, my TTM squeeze. I want all of them I'm getting information from all of them. And it is a wonderful thing if they all are correlated and they're showing me the same thing. We call that confluence. Confluence is when you look across indicators. This indicator, our MACD, was clearly telling us this is a downtrend. Everything about it, even these lines here, when they're far apart like that and they're pointing straight down, you're in a downward trend. When you see your RSI is down here, way down here, and you see this blue show up and it's oversold like this, we're in a downward trend. When you see your TTM squeeze, they start with this little red and they keep getting bigger. That's the intensity of that downward trend. Once we saw this yellow bar come in, once we saw our RSI cross back up and go over, and for sure when we saw this crossover and these greens start to come in, we know that downward trend is over. It was time to cash out. It was time to go. It was definitely time to exit because we purchased a put, and we were, our theory was that the price would go down. And so we wrote it down as far as it could, and then we sold it. We cashed out and took the profit. You could go back in now that you see this crossover. Now, I wouldn't, not right now, but you could, because now price is going back up. You could now purchase a call if you think that the price is going to go back up. Let's see, it went from $11.85 at the bottom, and we're back almost up to $12. So that's a 15 cent. Let's see, what was the net change here? 1207. We wrote it down to about 11.83. So let's see, 7 cent, 12, 15. So about 22 cents down, and we made a decent profit. Well, you can make a profit the opposite direction as well. The only thing about this is that, look, it doesn't have as much volume and it's not as clean. Do you see how clean this was? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for a very clean, clear trend. This was a very clean, clear downward trend. This is a little messier. And so I don't know. I would wait if I was going to purchase a call. Although we could, I tell you what, if it crosses over this, because this is I'll go back and explain again what these lines are just in case. But we could switch and purchase a call. We could have purchased it right at this crossover or right down here. And we would have gone from 1186 up to 1202. It's going right back up. So that was an example of a good scalp this morning. Does anybody have a question about what a scalp is? If you have any questions, feel free to just drop them in the chat. Marilyn, what is this ticker? C3AI. I'm not sure what that is. I know you didn't mean to put a number in there. C3AI. I don't know what that is. You'll have to tell me. Also, keep an eye on C3AI. Is leading enterprise AI software. And everybody knows AI is artificial intelligence. Yeah, come on now. Artificial intelligence is it's the buzzword. Everybody wants to get in AI. Chat GPT. If you guys aren't using Chat GPT, you should. Y'all looking forward. We could do let's do a forward trade for a call. I'll just show you the opposite. We did a put, price going down. Let's do a call, price going up. And we're just practicing what's a put, what's a call. A call is when we think the price is going to go up. And that's what I was waiting for, to see if it was going to cross over this. This is our 9, our 20, and our 50-day moving average. So since we're waiting to see what's happening, we talked about these bars here represent volume. This is not rocket science, folks. Volume simply means how many people, think volume, how many people are actually in the market. Is it a lot of people or is it a few people? That's it, that's all. If you look over to the right, you'll see there is a value here. If I run this little line, like I'm going to go to the top of this green one, it's 1.00039. And I'll have to find out, I want to say that's in millions. And yeah, millions of people. That's a lot. And you can see this red bar here was really high. That was 1.45. And I want to say that represents million people or purchasers, I'll say, because it doesn't necessarily have to be people. It could be, hedge funds are in here buying, all kinds of people, all kinds of investors, individual investors like us, retail buyers. But that's what volume represents. You don't have to you don't have to calculate. You can just look at this and see. Volume was really high at the beginning when the market first opened. And then now you can see that there weren't nearly as many people participating in the market. These people got in and sold and got out. Who knows? They could have been taking profit. Who knows why they sold? But they sold, and it was a lot of sellers. We talked about our MACD. Our MACD helps us understand the trend. Volume, simply the number of participants in the market. That's all. Our MACD helps us understand the trend. Is this a downward trend? Is this an upward trend? Is this the beginning of the trend? Is the trend going strong? Is the trend reversing? Is it starting to reverse? Yeah. We have a crossover here. Now they're green bars and they're getting taller and they're intensifying. So now the price is going up. See that little dark green one? Well, look at what's happening with the candlesticks. Candlesticks turn red. Price is coming down. These work together. This MACD is doing nothing but telling us what the candlesticks are doing up top. We can see them coming in. We can see them, but we don't know if, where we are in the trend. Our MACD helps us understand where we are in the trend. Is this trend still going strong? We see the candles here, but we don't know if the trend is still going strong. Once we come down to our MACD is what helps us understand, is this trend going to continue or is this trend reversing? And when you definitely see a crossover, you know that there's a reversal in that trend. And so when these are bright, that means that we've got some momentum. It's continuing in that direction. Once they start to turn this darker color, then you see that it's still a downward trend, but not so much. And even the size of the bars begins to diminish as this trend begins to change. And then we see what our candlesticks help just correlate with that is that, yes, price is starting to go up. And then you can see it crossed over. Yep, definitely signifying this trend is changing, and the changing in the color of our MACD. These bright green getting taller. The trend is intensifying. Price is going up. Price is going up. Up a little cooling. Price, isn't still going up. Starts to kind of level off. And then again, price picks up and it levels off again. And remember, we talked about that doji candle. You watch as that gray candle comes in, or these with these very thin bodies. That's a signal of indecision. It's like the market is kind of almost like at equilibrium. They're neither a preponderance of buyers or sellers. It's just kind of like they're duking it out. This is clearly sellers are in control. Way more sellers than buyers. Way more sellers than buyers. And then when you see the green big bars like this, big candlesticks like this, clearly way more, these are sellers. These are way more buyers, way more buyers, way more buyers. The buyers are in charge when you see your green candlesticks. And when you see a gray doji like that, you can just tell it's just equilibrium. Buyers and sellers are in there duking it out. Nobody was really in control. So that is volume. This is MACD. And our RSI, I like to use the RSI, particularly if it's way up high. I like it when it's at the extreme. There are 3 times when I'm really paying attention to my RSI. And when it's at the top, that would be overbought. That means buyers have bought, and sent the price up so high, it's not going to stay there that long, you guys. And we can go back and look at that. I like that when it's way up top because I know it's going to come down. So generally when it's up top like that, and especially if it's been up there for a while, I'm looking for it to come down. So that might be a good indicator of, hey, we might want to get ready to buy some puts because that price cannot stay up there that long. The market just won't support it. It's no different than those eggs being $9 for a dozen eggs. You can price eggs at $9, but people are eventually just going to stop buying them because you've priced people out the market. And once people stop buying them, you think they're going to let the eggs just sit on the shelf and rot? No, they're going to lower the price to get those buyers back in. This is no different, you guys. This is a market. So when the price is high and it's just not sustainable, because after a while, people will say it's just too expensive for me to buy. And then the price will come down. And that's what happened with Ford. The price was up there and the price was just too high. The market couldn't support it. Price is starting to come down. So when I see an RSI value that's close to 70, because these 2 lines, this is 70 at the top and 30 at the bottom. When I see it up there, I'm poised for a put because I know that this price is going to come down, and that's exactly what it did. But by the same token, when it comes all the way down to the bottom, this is our value. This would be a value of 30. Once it starts getting below that, the high, it went from a high of, let's say at the beginning of the market, $12.10. It got all the way down to $11.83. Well, once eggs go on sale for cent, you know, it's somebody out there buying 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 dozen of eggs because they're on sale. Think of this as nothing more than a market. And once the price is low like this, everybody is buying them at 69 cents a dozen. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to go up on the price. They're like, oh, y'all want eggs, huh? So if you buy them at 69, let's see if I can sell them at 75 cents. This is nothing more than a market. And that's exactly what happened here. The price got really low. And somebody is sitting at home saying, man, as soon as Ford gets down to $11.50, I'm buying some Ford because that's my price. And then it just continues. Then a lot of buyers come in and they send the price back up. And then once the price gets too high, nobody's willing to pay that, the price starts to come back down. So that's all we're doing. We're looking at this market every day and we're just trying to decide. We're not guessing. We're not hoping. We're not praying. We're looking at what these candlesticks say. We're watching what the MACD says. We're watching what the RSI says. And I promise you, it's as simple as that. You don't need pencils. You don't need paper. You don't need to be calculating. You don't need a calculator for this. You just need to have some patience and some discipline and a little skill. You need to have studied the company. And if you all notice, if you have watched me over time, I'm not trading 35 different things. I'm a new trader. I'm sure there are people out there who they're very experienced and they can trade anything. We will get there. Eventually, we will get there too. But what I try to do is keep this simple. I trade the same tickers. I love to teach with Ford because Ford moves slowly. It's very inexpensive. You could purchase a Ford contract like we did this morning for $14. No harm, no foul. If it took you $14 to get in the game, you're not going to make a ton of money, but you're also not going to lose a ton of money. Oh, okay. Can you see me now? Okay. Thank you, Marilyn. I'm telling you, it keeps me straight. Okay. Can you see me? All right. Good. Did anybody? Hi, Deborah. Anybody else new join the chat? Okay. All we're doing is we're in the market. We are shopping every day. We're looking for good buys, just like you would if you were buying a house or a car. The price, when the price gets low, and that market psychology is this: as people start to buy, the price is going to go up. You know, if I'm selling something to you, I know, Marilyn, I know it's in and out. Yep. You guys know in Bali, and the internet is just, hey, it is what it is. When I was in the US, we never had never. In Mexico, even, it didn't go out quite as much. It was a little sketchy too. But this is just, you know, it's the nature of the beast here. It's just, excuse me, 1 second. I don't know. This whole building is concrete. I'm out in the jungle, y'all. Literally, I'm out in the jungle. And so y'all bear with me. We'll do 2 hours today. Let's see, we got on at 9:30, 10:30. Generally by 11:30, I'm done. So we've got another hour. If you have some questions, drop them in the chat. If you're new, please like and subscribe to the channel. We're so very close to monetizing the channel. It takes 1,000 subscribers, and I think we're over 920. So it's coming, it's coming. So thank you guys for that. And if you step back and look at this chart, you can see we caught that morning trend. The rest of this is just sideways trading. And sideways trading is called consolidation. It's not going down. Another indication that we are consolidating, or that the price is just kind of doing this little sideways thing, is that you'll notice it's all caught up in our moving averages. And I'll go back over those lines at the top so that you know what those lines mean, because it's not rocket science either. And what bothers me about it, and this is why I wanted to teach other people, because once I looked at it and I was able to see, wait a minute, these people out here making, and by these people, I mean the mainstream America, they've been out here making money reading colors, looking at patterns. And you would think that you would have to be, a financial advisor, have a degree in finance, economics, or something to do this. Lord, no. Lord, no, you absolutely do not. What you need to do is, I think you should start with some fundamental analysis. And what is fundamental analysis? Fundamental analysis is where you look at a company, one company, you look to see, who's the CEO? What kind of profits are they making? Is this a solid company? And for most of the things that I trade, I don't trade anything that's sketchy. I promise you I don't. Apple, Amazon, I trade the biggies. I don't trade penny stocks, too risky. I don't do biotech. I don't do any of those. Personally, if it trades for under $3, $4, I don't generally fool with it, because no, I like proven companies. So your fundamental analysis, you can really I would never forego, but you already know Tesla's not going out of business tomorrow. You already know that Ford is in the game. Ford is not going to go out of business. But some of those other companies, I would certainly say you want to look at their profit and loss. And it's so easy to do. That's not hard to do. It's right on the Thinkorswim platform, and I can show you where it is. I'll show you later. If anybody's interested, maybe that's something that could be a topic we could talk about in our Wednesday Zoom class. How do you do basic fundamental analysis? How do you analyze the health of a company? And just some of the things you want to look at is profit, their profit and loss. You want to look at who is the head of the company, the CEO, CFO. You want to look at all those people. And there are some markers that you want to pay attention to. But sometimes you can kind of forego the fundamental analysis if you're dealing with tried and true companies. And so if we step back and look at this forward chart, we got the best of it, you guys. We got that big morning dip. That was a clear downward trend, and it did reverse, but now it's just sideways trading and what we call consolidation. So let me go back, and I'm going to talk to you guys about, let me get over here, the lines that you see here. And if I pull out, you'll see a fourth line. Let me see if I pull out to the 15-minute. I'm looking for our 200-day moving average. So I'm going to pull out to the 1-hour chart. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I know I have to have it on here. I'm just going to go peek and see. Yeah, I have a 2. What is this? 2000. No wonder I can't see it. I need to edit this. I'm like, where's my 200-day moving average? Somebody, Lord help. Okay. Apply. Okay. There it is. It's the green. I kept trying, where's my 200 day. So let's go back. And I hope you guys can see this. This is I'll leave it right here. So what I just did, I changed the time frame. I'm going to toggle back and I'll show you this. Marilyn, when I hit the time frame box, do you see this? Can you see the drop down menu? I should be looking at it myself. Okay, so you can see this drop down menu. In this drop down menu right here, I'll go right back up to the top for those of you, if you're following along, it says 1 hour. If you tap this little caret here, you'll get this drop down box. And this box, that's Marilyn. Okay, great. Contains all of the time frames, because you can look at these candlesticks by the hour, like what is, where each candle represents an hour's worth of trading. You can look at them in terms of every 30 minutes, where each candle represents 30 minutes of time of price action. You can look at them minute by minute, but if you look at them minute by minute, I promise you, it'll drive you crazy, because it's like every minute you get to see. That's a lot. I watch it on the 2 minute, and that's a lot of information. So I switched it from our 2 minute, and I want to show you what that looks like. So here's what we were looking at. We were looking at this. It's all the same data, but instead of looking at it in terms of every 2 minutes, I'm going to show you what it looks like when we look at it every 5 minutes. Same chart, nothing changed. We just changed the time frame. So now we're looking at this price action of Ford. This candle represents 5 minutes, 10, 15, 20. Still the same 20 minutes, 25, 30. First 20 minutes of the day, the price was going down. We still got that big red volume bar, lots of sellers. And we still got, that little dip. And then we got more sellers. Our MACD is still telling us, it's a great downward trend. And it's still telling us, the trend started to change. We still got our crossover. You can still see where the our RSI was up near 70, and it dropped dramatically. It got oversold, and then it started to change. You can still see it on our TTM squeeze, where the trend, this downward trend started, and it got bigger, 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 and you can see where it started to change. The only difference is, instead of looking at these candlesticks every 2 minutes, we're looking at that same price action in 5-minute intervals. Well, we can change that to 15-minute intervals. Same data, same chart, same thing. And we can see the first 15 minutes of the day, what was happening? The price was dropping. And don't you remember in that 20 minute, the beginning of that 20 minutes, we saw that little fluctuation. I was like, man, we might need to be getting out of this trade. So this was 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. This is the first hour of trading in the day. So instead of looking at the candles every 2 minutes, you could look at them every 15 minutes. But when you look at them every 15 minutes, that's a long time to sit before you get some more data, before you kind of see what's going on. So I never trade on the 15 minute. If I'm actively in a trade, I want to see every 2 minutes, every 3 minutes, like, what is this price doing? Because by the time you sit here, that's too long. But you can look at these candlesticks by changing your time frame. We can change it to a larger time frame, but the data is still the same. You can see our MACD said, yep, downward trend, downward trend. You can see where the trend started to change. And the same is true here with our RSI. Our RSI was up before pre-market, up near, it was at 60 something. And then it started to rapidly decline. It got down to this value of 30 on our RSI. It was oversold, and then the price reversed. You can still see it with our TTM squeeze, down, 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 and then the trend starts to reverse. So you can change these candlesticks, the time frame, but the data is still the same. The first 15 minutes of the day, price was going down. We got in the first 15 minutes of the day. We made that quick little change. And once the trend started to reverse, we got the heck up out of that trade, because our thesis was price was going to go down, and it did. And it went down for 15 minutes. It's not going to go down forever. I told you, once it gets down here at this RSI, when it gets down here to the place where it is oversold, it can't stay there. The price is too low. When that price is that low, somebody is sitting at home saying, yeah, this is a good time for me to buy some Ford because the price is low. They've been waiting for that price to drop. And so as soon as that happens, now you get a flood of buyers. And once you get a bunch of buyers in the market, well, what do you think somebody's going to do? If I'm Ford and, I'm a market maker, we got a lot of buyers. They're interested. We've hit their price. Price goes up. The price shoots up like it would with any market. So we talked about MACD helping us understand where we are in the trend. We talked about our RSI indicating whether or not we're overbought or oversold. We talked about our TTM squeeze. It also helps us understand where we are in this trend. Is this a downward trend? Is it going to continue to go down? Is it starting to change? What we didn't talk about, and I'm going to pull out so you can see these. Oh, I love it. They're spread out right here. This is great. Hopefully you guys can see this. And look at this. This was yesterday. Oh my goodness. This was 15. This is an even better. We got in for the first 15 minutes. That was a great scalp in and out. But yesterday, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes, for an entire hour, the price of Ford dropped. That would be a great day trade because it's a longer trade. A scalp is generally under 30 minutes. Certainly, anything after that, you're basically talking about a day trade. So yesterday, if we had gotten in the market first thing in the morning, bought the same puts, because we buy a put when we think the price is going to go down, we could have stayed in that trade for an hour and all that. This is a trend. I'm a trend trader. I'm looking for a trend. I'm not trying to get in here and guess. And that's hard. I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to do nothing tricky. I'm not trying to do any hard trades. I'm looking for a definitive trend. I just want to jump on. I just want to follow the big boys. Whatever they're doing, if the big boys are in here selling, guess what we're doing? We're selling. If the big boys are in there buying, and calls because prices went up, that's all we're doing. We're not reinventing the wheel. And if you look at this TTM squeeze from yesterday, that was a whole lot of time. These are representing every 15 minutes as well. When we change that time frame for our candlesticks, all of this correlates. This represents 15 minutes of volume. This is 15 minutes of the trend. Look at that. That price dropped, man, from the time the market opened till 11:30. We could have rolled that down. That's some good money all the way down, y'all. I didn't trade at all yesterday. Like I said, I don't trade every day. But that would have been a good day to buy a put, purchase it up here, ride it all the way down to the bottom. And once it starts doing this, it's time to go. Just like this. When you see that crossover, and those greens started to come in, time to exit the trade. Can you see this here? You see our RSI was oversold. The minute it crossed over here and started to go up, time to go, exit. You could have even gotten out here by looking at your TTM squeeze. Once these yellows start coming in like this, it's time to go. It's over. Everything here is telling us that this trend, this downward trend, that was clearly a downward trend. Clearly, our MACD is telling us it's a downward trend. Look at it. It's going down too. Clearly a downward trend. Crossover. Look at that. Crossover. These are yellow. These greens are coming in. It's time to go. As simple. This is not rocket science. So I don't want anybody thinking, oh, this is too hard for me. It's not. I promise you it's not. I'm going to just peek over in the chat and see what's happening. Yes, please. Ford is a great example. Okay, good. Natasha, I'm glad you got everything. All right, so let's talk about, we've talked about volume. We've talked about the MACD. We talked about the RSI. We talked about the TTM squeeze. Let's talk about these indicators right here. And what these lines represent is they're called simple moving averages. It is exactly what it says. There are four that I use. This green one is a 200-day average. And by moving average, all that means is that it changes every day. Think about when you were in school and the teacher took the average of all your tests. Well, it's a mosquito in here, y'all. Y'all know I got ADHD and I don't need to be bit by no mosquitoes. When I tell y'all I am really in the jungle in the tropics, Lord, okay, this is just a sidebar because I just have to share. I'm up now, y'all. I'm up with y'all. It's midnight here. I'm drinking coffee. So you know I'm gonna probably be up now. I'm wide awake. Usually if I'm awake like that, I'll step outside. Yeah, I'm in the jungle. I stepped outside and there's a little overhang. It was all kind of iguanas. Not what are those things? Geckos, bugs, bats, birds. I'm like, what the heck? We are literally in the jungle. It's beautiful, it's green and it's lush, but it is the jungle. And so bugs tend to get in. You can't leave any fruit, food, or anything like that because you'll have ants. It's the jungle. And I'm learning to adapt, but I do not like mosquitoes. I've been bitten up and they are disrespectful. They do not respect. I brought the deep woods off from the States. They don't care. They what? I don't even think they respond to that. I was drenched from head to toe and off. They're like, yeah, right, lady. Whatever. Okay, just a sidebar. So let's get back to it. Okay, so this green line right here represents my 200-day moving average. So what happens, how they come up with this green line is they take the average price of Ford over the last 200 days. They add that each price up and they divide by 200 and they simply plot it as a line. And so you can see over the last 200 days, Ford traded somewhere between, this is a value of 1204 and 1214. So over the last 200 days, this is, the price was around $12 and some change. Well, that makes sense. Look, we're at 1206. Every day they drop that last one, the very first one, they drop that average price off and they add on today's. So tomorrow, what they'll do is that very first one, just think about it, 200 days, they'll drop that first day off and then they'll add this one on. That's why it's called a moving average, because it changes every day. It's not static because, like when you do the average for your test, that's not static either. Your grade is constantly changing. Every time you get a new test, your average is either going to go up or it's going to go down. And that's all these lines are doing. They're just telling us what was the average price. The only difference when you're in grade school, baby, they don't drop that grade. They don't drop. I was a teacher. Nice teachers will drop your low grade, but this ain't that. This is a rolling kind of average, but just so you kind of have an idea, it's a rolling average. So they call that a moving average. So a simple moving average over 200 days. Take the average, take the price, whatever Ford closed at for that day. They take that. I don't know if they take the opening or closing price. It doesn't matter. They take the price for that day. They take that over 200 days add it up, divide by 200, and they just keep plotting that as a line. So that's our 200-day moving average. Now, think about it. If a teacher took 200 of your grades, that's pretty significant. That they pretty much know who you are. If you took 200 tests and the teacher averaged out 200 of your grades, you know, that's a lot of data about a student. That's a lot of data, period. That is, I would say that's a pretty healthy picture of what Price has been doing. If I had 200 grades for a student, a parent couldn't tell me anything. I tested them 200 times. I'm sorry. It is what it is. You're not faking and shaking. So this average, that's a pretty strong indication of what the price has been and what it, where it stands. Well, this pink one is the 50-day moving average. It's the same thing. They take the price of Ford over 50 days and they add the price up of the last 50 days and then they divide it by 50 and they plot this as a line. So tomorrow, that very first value will fall off and then they'll add on the most recent one. And then it just keeps rolling like that. 2 days from now, same thing. They'll drop that first one off and they'll add on the new one. It's always 50 days of data. It's divided by 50 and they plot it as a line. This yellow one, you can see it right up here. It says simple moving average. This yellow one for me is the 20-day moving average. Same theory. They take the price of Ford over the last 20 days. They add those prices up. They divide by 20, and then you get this average. This was the average price. So look, you can see over the last 50 days, the price has been declining. Over the last, what was this? This one's my 20-day prices. This is what the price has been doing. And then over the last 9 days, they do the same thing. They take the price for the last 9 days, they add it up, divide by 9. And so all this is, these lines are not anything. It's not rocket science. It's not complicated either. Because what we want to know at all times is, am I trading above the average or below the average? That's what I want to know. Or am I right at the average price? Because generally, if you're trading like this is below all of those, price is dropping. When you see it trading under these, I'm telling you, you'll see it. When you see it trading under all of those average prices, price is dropping. That's all we want to know. Is this above the average price or below the average price? And our 200-day, because it's so much data, this is the most significant. You can see. And so we were trading a little bit above the 200-day average, and now we're below all of them. You can see here we dropped below all of them. But I think what's most significant is if you look at the high, it was 1257 to 1205. So the average price of Ford has been somewhere between, in the $12 range. If we pull out, you'll be able to see it. So I'm going to pull out and look at this. Let's look at the daily chart. I got a lot of stuff. These are my support and resistance lines. I don't want to fool with those. So 200 days is a little less than a year. At the height, this is in 22. Ford was trading at 1668. At the low, Ford was trading at 1061. And you could just see how price went up. The candlesticks that we're looking at now, these represent 1 day. Every one of these candles that we're looking at now represents 1 day because I changed it to the daily chart. And yeah, this was a good time to be trading Ford. But you can see that Ford is really kind of, the price is just going down. It's going down. It's going down. Let me see if I make it a little bigger. Can you see it? You can see great upward trend and then price down A little pullback down, a little pullback. And that's all it does, y'all. It's a market. All price does is go up and go down, depending on who's in the market, if it's more buyers or sellers, and that's all. So that's why I said I think anybody can trade. Anybody can look at those candlesticks. You just don't be intimidated. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to have been a finance major. You don't have to be any of that stuff. You just have to be disciplined. I think the biggest thing is, being disciplined, not getting anxious, not jumping in, not being greedy, not chasing a trade. And by chasing a trade, I mean, if the move has already happened, like had we not gotten in that scalp first thing in the morning, it wouldn't have been worth it. It wouldn't have been worth it to do, because we would have caught it in the middle. We wouldn't have gotten most of it. Hey, so glad you made it. So glad you made it. We did a morning scalp this morning with y'all don't need that, with Ford. We did a morning Ford scalp. And so here's what Ford looks like. Price has been dropping over the last 3 days. 1, 2, 3. Because remember, these represent day trades. I'm sorry. These represent the time frame of 1 day's trading, 1 day's trading, 1 day's trading. And that's it for Ford. So let me get over here to our watch list and see who's doing what. It doesn't look like anybody's really doing anything. Boeing is up 1.5%. Netflix is up. Oh, Meta's up 2.5%. Let's see what Meta did today. I'm going to go back over here to let's go back to a 5-minute and see what Meta did. Oh, it hit a high. Okay, so this would have been a good one too. This could have been a really decent trade if we had jumped in Meta. It opened up this morning at 265 and it's all the way up to 271. You all see, look at this. Look at all this green on our MACD. Green, green, green. Looks like the trend was cooling. That would be just like a little pullback. It continued. Look at it. Look at our RSI. Look how overbought. And then it came down for a little breather. Overbought. Came down for a little breather. Overbought. And all this blue on our TTM. I don't know. See, this would be considered chasing a trade. To jump in now, you should have gotten here at the beginning of the day and just rolled that joker up. To jump in now to hope, that it will stay up, I don't know. I don't know. These concern me. I would have to see another bright green bar come in with some big green volume or something. But that was still a good trade. It went up about $6 or $7 this morning. And 5 minutes, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. That's an hour. 5, 10, 15, 20. So almost an hour and a half, Meta's price really just went up. That would have been a great day trade. Or even if somebody did it right here, you could have got in and got out. That would have been a good scalp. 5, 10, 15 minutes. Get you some money. Don't be greedy. 5, 10, 15. I like it. In and out. Or you could have jumped out here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Yep. And out of there. Because, I'm not trying to make all the money, people. I want to get over here and look at some of the things you guys wanted to look at. So I'm going to go back. Yes, if you need to, if you're really interested and you want to get caught up, I know so many people feel like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to get it. You will get it. If you need some additional help, I am available. You can go to, I need to drop that somewhere. I think I put it in the description. There's a link in the description for today's live where if you want to set up a one-on-one, I can help you get your Thinkorswim set up. If you haven't even opened up your TD Ameritrade account, and I would suggest that you use TD Ameritrade. There's another one. You can use Trading View. I don't use Trading View though, although there's some pluses and minuses to that. I use TD Ameritrade because I like Thinkorswim. I like their platform. But if you would like to get set up, you can schedule a time with me, schedule through Calendly. The link is in the description box. And then I can just get you caught up one-on-one. We'll set your account up if you need me to be there with you when you go to set your account up with TD Ameritrade, because there's certain things you want to do. You want to make sure that you have a cash account. You don't want to have a margin account. I don't advise that. A margin account is where TD Ameritrade will give you money. They'll lend you some of their money. You don't want to do that. You only want to trade with your own money. You can get into, if you're not careful, it get good. You like, okay, I'm on a roll. I'm going to use some of their money. And then the trade goes against you. Now you owe them money. We don't play like that. I only do a cash account. I don't want any of their money. If I don't have it in my account, I don't have it. I'm not borrowing money to try to make money. That's basically a margin account, is where you're using some of their money in addition to your money. It's kind of like they cover your trade for you. I don't like that. It's like credit. I don't need any credit. Lord, we're not doing that. So you want to make sure that you're setting up a cash account. Once you set up your cash account, then you want to make sure that you set up your Thinkorswim. You need to get your indicators put on. Volume will already be there, but you need to set your MACD, RSI, TTM, squeeze, any of that. I can help you walk through that entire process. I'll hold your hand, make sure you get it done. And then you too can start paper trading. I would advise that everybody start paper trading. Start there. But if you are ready and you think you're ready to maybe do some small trades like Ford, that's your money. You want to invest $150? Go for it. You can do that. Yes, no hopium up in here. Elle's like, nope, we're not hoping. None of that. Yes. Natasha, thank you. You guys are so kind. We've got about another 30 minutes or so. So if there are any questions, please drop them. And I'm just scrolling back, you guys, because I want to see. I know. Let's see. I know that there were some tickers we wanted to look at. So I'm just scrolling back to see. Marilyn, do you want to see something in particular today? If you guys want me to look at something, just drop it again in the chat, because it's so far up there now, I can't remember what they were. I'm going to just go back though. That's all I'm doing. Okay, so we can look at SoFi. Love SoFi. Let's go see what they're doing. And again, the ticker goes right up there. So SoFi Technologies. Oh, shoot. SoFi might have been a decent trade this morning too. Let's see. They opened up at $6. Yeah, and they hit a high of 708. Let's look at SoFi. I'm going to put that on our watch list. And what I'm doing is I'm going to close our TV because we're not watching it. Although all good traders trade with the TV on. You're listening to the news because you don't want something to sneak up on you. Okay, so SoFi, SoFi went up almost an entire percent today, 1%. It doesn't sound like a lot, but that's significant because SoFi trades at $7. A 10-cent move, a 15-cent move, that's significant. Let's see, any other movers and shakers? Boeing, we could look at Boeing's chart. They're up 1.5%. Or we could look at the losers too. Love is down 70 cents. That is really significant for Love. Y'all, let's look at Love. Whoa. Okay. I'm going to look at this on the 2-minute because that would have been, look at that, y'all. That's a trend. That is a trend. This is what we're looking for. We don't want any, we want this. This is when you move. This is why I say you don't trade every day, because you don't see this every day. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 minutes of straight price drop. Trading underneath all of your simple moving averages. Once we hit this, oh, if you weren't in that trade, you should have been. Look at the volume. Nice volume bars, all red. Look at the MACD. Red, red, red. You can see when the price starts to level off or when the trend starts to change. Look at this. It's showing you very clearly. Look at this. Look, look, look. Somebody look at this. Price was, look at our RSI. We were up near a value of 57 and we got all the way down here just as oversold. Look at this. Look at your TTM squeeze. Red, 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 red. By this time, I would have been out of this trade, though, to be honest with you. Once it started consolidating like this, I'd have been out. I would have left. To go from this, doesn't this look very different from that? So this is what you're looking for. You're looking for a very clear trend. It doesn't always happen like that, but these are the easiest ones to trade. When your volume is clearly correlated with what your candlesticks are showing you, your MACD, everybody is saying it's a red candidate. That's what you're looking for. Now look at love. Yep. So easy breezy capeasy. Love went down 2.2%. So I'm looking for those big movers. Meta was up 2.1%. SoFi is up 1%. We'll go back to it. Yeah, I'm not mad at SoFi either. Let's look at this. Let's see what it looks like on the 5 minutes. Sometimes the trend is easier to see on a larger time frame. Absolutely. So you had a little morning chop here. It was up, it was down. But once it cleared this 200-day and got above it, straight up, just up, 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 up. And that's what we're looking for. This one's, not as clean as I like them, but it's still, you see a preponderance of green. So these little pullbacks here, you still see a preponderance of green. We hit a high. I like the way this TTM squeeze is looking. I love it when you see these bright blue bars like that. We're trading high. Our RSI is up there. All of this is a go. I prefer, though, where were we? I prefer, you all look at this. You see, this is a trend, right? But tell me, this is way easier to see that, it's no doubt about what this thing is doing here. And that's why I like a clear trend like this. That's easy. A blind man can see that prices dropping, dropping, dropping. So that's what I like to trade. This would be a scalp too. We could have scalped Love this morning and probably made even more profit. So that's that. I'll go back to SoFi. Let's look at it on the 2 minute. Yeah, on the 2 minute, it's a little, yes. As soon as it cut above all of these averages, now because you're trading above the average price over the last 200 days. The price was higher. Yeah, you want to get in 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. We're not here for a long time, y'all. We just here for a good time. We're just here to make the money. Even this little pullback here, it couldn't penetrate that moving average and it's back up. So yeah, and it hit a high. I wouldn't be surprised if it kept going. But see, look at this. My TTM squeeze says, hey, I don't know. This move, the move might be over. Look at this crossover. The move might be over. And then we've got this red, and look at our RSI coming down. Can it go back up? Sure. But right now, that's why I say I wouldn't chase this. Somebody might look at this and say, oh yeah, the price is going up. It hit a high. That doesn't mean it's going to continue to do that. This crossover tells me, don't get back in there just yet. Looking at my TTM squeeze, because this is cyclical. It only does this. Y'all look down at this TTM squeeze. It vacillates. It does this red, yellow. It goes to this light blue, dark blue. It goes red, yellow, light blue, dark blue. What's going to happen after that dark blue? It's going to go red. It's either going to continue to do this dark blue thing, but next it'll be red. So we know that this is going into a downward trend. So all you're doing is looking at colors, y'all. That's it. That's all. We're looking at colors. We're looking at patterns. We looked at SoFi. Anything else y'all want me to look at? Anybody else? Anything else? All right. I'm trying to think. Let's see. Is there anything? I'm gonna scroll through here one more time to see if there's anything we might be able to jump in on. Let's look at NVIDIA. See what NVIDIA is doing. And what I want to say too is that we're practicing. We're practicing how to get in a trade, how to get out of trade. We haven't even begun to discuss the prep, because what I would do in the morning before any of this is I listen to, like I trade QQQ. I listen to a pre-market report. I find out price levels. That's something else. I don't want to overwhelm you guys. But your morning prep, you would be putting up your support and resistance. And those support and resistance lines tell you, like, what was the high from yesterday? That would be significant. What was the low price from yesterday? And any significant price levels where maybe price has had some trouble or it got stuck. Like the price has never, like in the last 60 days, the price has never gone below this, or in the last 3 months, price has never gone above this. Those price levels are significant, because if it hasn't ever gone above that in the last 2 years, you know, what's the likelihood it could, but what's the likelihood that it would go above or below that price today? So that's why support and resistance is important. And since we have so many new people, I think we talked about, I should be jotting down some notes. We talked about support and resistance. That might be something to see. I'm looking to see you all if we could jump in one more trade for today. I was just looking. I don't see anything. I don't know. This NVIDIA. Let me see. If NVIDIA can get above 393, I don't know. It's trading above all these. I like that little bunny hop thing. I was just trying to see if we could do one more trade for the day. Let me see who's moving well. Let's look at Amazon. I'm looking for a trend. Anybody in a trend with some stuff that we could jump in? Look at that one. Look at Amazon. There you go. We're looking for that kind of sustained, clearly a trend. I'm trying to see if anybody is actively in a trend. Let's just roll through our checklist. Look at QQQ. Let's look. And all I'm looking at is I'm looking at my TTM squeeze. I'm looking at my RSI to see where we are in a trend, if it's worth trying to get in. I don't know, 179. That doesn't say go to me. Let's look at Meta. Gotcha. Okay. Marilyn, is this Schwab SCHD? Yes. And this is an ETF. I'm not sure if anybody here, if you're really new, an ETF. What's going on? Okay. An ETF is different from, let's say, Apple. You know, Apple's one company. Meta, which is Facebook, one company. And if you're trading Apple, that's all you're trading. If Apple goes up, great. If Apple tanks, not so good if you hold the stock. But if we're trading options, it's good for us either way. But what I'm saying is that's one equity, it stands on its own. Schwab is an this S, the ticker SCHD, that's an ETF. And an ETF is like a bucket, and it has more than one stock. It might have 100 different stocks bundled together. Some of us remember the old school mutual funds where you really, all you're doing is spreading out your risk. Think about it. If you're trading Apple and Apple has a bad day and Apple tanks, you lose money. Like you hold the stock Apple, Apple tanks $10, you just lost $10 per share. But if you have an ETF, you've got multiple stocks in there. So Apple might be having a bad day, but some of the other stocks in that ETF might be having a great day. So you won't feel the hit the same way as if you were trading a single stock. Lots of people like ETFs. I love an ETF. QQQ is an ETF. SPY is an ETF. QQQ follows the NASDAQ. SPY follows the S&P 500. IMW is another one. I like that one. It follows the Russell 2000, and it's got a multitude of different stocks in there. And wow, yeah, Marilyn, this was a good one. Oh, shoot. Looks like they're trying to do a little crossover here. Let's see what happens with the price. 69.71. We can watch this one for a minute. 69.72. The only thing that concerns me is it's a little overbought. But look at our TTM squeeze starting to fire up here. We've got these light blue bars coming in. It's low volume too. It's not a lot of volume. And it just got above the 200-day moving average. If we could get a couple more candles to close green, I would consider maybe, doing a trade. I did want to show you all at least one more trade for today. But Schwab did the whole drop that morning too. That could have been a scalp. Okie doke. Let me get over there. It says, Sandra, did you already go over what a scalp is? If so, yes. No, no problem. I can tell you what a scalp is. There are 3 different kinds of trades. Everybody knows there's scalping, day trading, and swing trading. And I'll work backwards. A swing trade is a trade that you hold overnight. You purchase it sometime during the day, and when the market closes, you still own it. You're still holding on to it. You can swing trade over a day. You can swing trade over a year, longer than that. Those contracts are called leaps. Those long-term trades, anything certainly over 6 months, a year, those are long-term. That's a swing trade. You're holding on for the long term. A day trade is a trade where you open that contract sometime during the day and you sell it the same day. That's a day trade. A scalp is a very quick move, and that was the move that we did this morning. You get in, you get out. That trade usually lasts less than 30 minutes, certainly less than an hour. You are in and out. Most times when I'm scalping, we're talking about under 20 minutes. That's a fast move. And mostly scalpers get in and out in the morning, certainly before lunchtime. And that's just a very quick trade. It doesn't take long. And what you are looking for is momentum. Just like we had this morning. Usually they're big bars, big red bars, or big green bars. It's dropping real fast in the morning. They're selling off and it's over. It's a quick move. Or price shoots up in the morning and you catch that little ride up, 15 minutes of price going up, and you are out of there. You are in and out of the trade. Scalping, I think, is a little riskier in that you got to get the direction right. And it has to happen quick. So it's a small window of opportunity. Whereas a day trade has time to develop, over time. Some people might say that's riskier too because your money's in the market longer. The thing that I think is riskier about a scalp is that you got to get it right. Because if you don't get your scalp right, guess what? You're probably going to be in a day trade. You're going to be waiting all day for that move. So scalpers have to get the move right. You really just got a little bit of time to get it right. But again, a scalp is a very quick trade. Generally under 30 minutes, you're in, you're out, bam. You make the money, you close your computer, you go home. Did that help? I hope so. If not, let me know. Okay, Marilyn wants to see PLTR. I like these tech stocks, Marilyn. PLTR. Ooh, I don't like that chart though. That was a good one here, but this is choppy. And you can tell by look at this. Down, up, down, up, down. That's morning chop. See, you don't want to be in that in the morning. And I'm telling you, anytime you see those long wicks, a bunch of wicky, but this, once it crossed above there, that's a quick one. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. That's nice. Look, consolidation. Big price drop. Up again. Yeah. So nice, it's a lot of movement here. I promise you all, the ones I like are the easy ones. I'm trying to see if anybody else is doing something real easy that we can see. Let's look at Boeing. Okay, Boeing is shimmying on up. This is Boeing is shimmying up. They did that morning. Everybody did some little morning whatever. Boeing's up at a high of 209. Yeah. Let me go back. PLTR. Marilyn, can you tell us something about this company? I know it is a tech company. Trading at 14. I'm just going to look back over. I'm going to look at the daily chart just to see where they've been. Whoa, I see why you said hello. Oh, hello. This is over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Wow. Since May 8th. Hello. That's a nice looking chart there, Marilyn. Man. So it started out at this price has almost doubled, you guys, in 2 weeks. What? We're putting that on our watch list. PLTR. Oh, yes, we are. Yes, we are. Let me look. This is on the daily chart. So each one of these candlesticks represents one day. Marilyn is doing some stuff at home. Clearly, you're doing some research at home. Okay, they had an earnings report here. Let's see what the earnings report said. Aftermarket Central Standard Time conference call. Okay. And then what was this other news? Earnings in the conference call. Okay. So it must have been a good earnings report because after the earnings report, look what happened. The company the price took off. And I love it. We love to see these averages move, like this. This price is trading above the 200-day. The 200-day average was about $8. This thing is trading at $14, almost $15 today. Maryland, y'all, this is pure money here. Look at it. And it still looks like it's still going strong. Shh. Maryland, you better watch yourself. Good Lord. So that's why you watch the news. So this was clearly on the news. Whatever happened at that earnings report, it must have been a darn good earnings report because the price took off and it has done nothing but go up over the last few days. So I'm going to move this out the way. I'm going to move this because I want to see. Yeah, shut your mouth. In February, this stock was trading at $5.85. Just imagine if you own this. It has tripled. February, March, April, May, June, in 4 months. Oh my God, somebody got rich. Somebody got rich. 1501 was the high. Y'all, there you have it. Put that on your watch list. Just keep watching it. I don't know. The only thing that when I see them, when it's overbought like this, once the price gets so high, you know what's going to happen too. What can happen? These people who bought it at $5, once it gets up to 15, they're going to start selling to take profit. So that's one of the things. And can you guys see this? You see this green bar here, the dark green, and how the price has leveled off a little. But that doesn't mean it can't continue and pick up. I would be curious to see what happens tomorrow. Let's look at it on the 2-minute chart. I want to see on the 2-minute if there's a way to get in today. Shh. Okay. No harm, no foul. This one, we might just, let me go ahead. I'm going to buy a few of these contracts because they're so inexpensive. Let's go look at it. And Marilyn, maybe this will be one that we swing. Y'all know I'm not necessarily a swing trader, but this is very interesting to me. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to go with this 9 days. These are so inexpensive. We can give ourselves 2 weeks. And we're expecting the price to continue to go up looking at that chart. I haven't looked at any of the, let's go with it, folks. So if it says that this contract is $1.27, it's actually $12. I'm sorry, move it over. 1, 2 times 100. It's 120. Well, maybe we won't go that far out. We don't want to spend that much money. Let's go on to 8 days. $1. So these are $100 contracts. I like the theta. Oh, what? Marilyn, we're going to grab some of these. Let's just grab some. I'm going to buy custom. Let's buy 3. I'm going to change the stop because that stop's pretty tight. That's how we got stopped out of the other trade we did. Let's just see. I'm going to move that stop down. Let's see, 136. That's $136. 10% of that is 13. We've got 3. Let's see. Chris Sain suggested 4 stocks to watch for June 2nd before the market. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that was one. I'm telling y'all, Chris Sain is the truth. Y'all better listen up. I'm just trying to calculate in my mind where we want to set the stop because I don't ever want to lose. My real goal is $100. I don't want to lose 100. I want to make 100 a day, and I don't ever want to lose more than 100. Who is it? Oliver Velez says, "Don't let a trade take more than $69 from you." So somewhere between $70 and $100 is enough to risk on a trade. So I'm just doing the quick math in my head. 10%. 5%, 10% would be 13 times 3, 45. Okay. We could set this stop. Let's set it about 8%. I like this, Marilyn. And let's see, they're $135. If we buy 3, that's 3. We're in for about $400. Let's go ahead on and see. We'll purchase those. I love it. And then we'll see what happens. So you guys can see, okay, we purchased those. So this is in our paper account. We purchased 3 of PLTR, and we can see so far we're down $1.50, which is, come on. We're okay. We have our stop in place. It's not going to let us lose too much money. And let's see what happens with those over the next few days or so. Because I'm telling you, that chart looks good. That daily chart was looking pretty good. All right, folks. So that's the only thing that we have open. The only contracts, let's see, PLTR. We have 3 of those. They expire on June 9th. We've got 8 days to see if we make any profit. Let's look at the chart again. That doesn't concern me too much. What will concern me is if it starts to hit and go below these, but we've got our stop in place, so we can't lose too much money on this. And I don't think we're going to. That was a great, oh my God, the deal was to get in this last month, a couple months ago. That's a beautiful, beautiful. All right. Yes, you all please. If you aren't watching Chris Sane, Oliver Velez, I still like Brandon's trade, Black Girl Stocks, Brown Girls Trade too. Those are some people that, set your alerts. When Chris Sane speaks, I'm listening. Yep. Read and study. We are not in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry. Marilyn and I have been doing this together, like side by side. We've been paper trading. I dabble in and out if I really see something that catches my eye, but I'm really more learning. It's been, I don't know how many months for me. It's been not quite 8 months. So we are all in the learning phase. So anybody who joined today, please do not, if you're feeling overwhelmed, set up a time. I promise you, I can help you squash all that fear. It's nothing to fear. You guys, this is not rocket science. But I think we had a good session today. Thank you. Marilyn is reminding me to get some rest because, yep, y'all, it's almost midnight here. And everybody knows I'm an early riser. When the sun comes up, I'm up. And sunrise here is about 6. I was up this morning. I've been up since 5. I took a short nap just to prep so that I could at least be somewhat clear-minded with you guys. So you all, you know what we're holding. The only thing that we're holding is PLTR. We made almost $60 today on that very quick forward scalp this morning. And when we come back next week on Tuesday, yeah, wait a minute, what's today? Let me look at the calendar really quickly because oh yeah. So Tuesday we can check on it because this contract doesn't expire until Thursday next week. So we've got it out for a week. Oh yes, and living my dream. He usually stops by and he's like our resident expert. He keeps us on our toes. Marilyn just gave you the list. If you aren't following those people, please follow them. Living My Dream is our friend. Black Girls Trade, Black Girl Stocks, and Brown Girls Trade too. Those are our friends. So go like and subscribe to those channels if you can. And I'm telling you, they're teaching good stuff. Good stuff. If that feels like it's a little beyond you, that's okay. Just listen. I promise you, if you listen over time, it'll come over here. We'll talk about some basics. If you want to be a part of the Zoom study session, please email me at fromlack2legacy@gmail.com and I will send you the Zoom link. Generally, I try to do it every 2 weeks. So we didn't have one this Wednesday. We'll have one next Wednesday. And this is the adjustment I have to make, you guys. If I do the Zoom session on Wednesday, I can't do Thursday morning because it's the same day for me. Wednesday night and Thursday morning is the same day for me. So that means I would be up early in the morning and then I have to be up late at night to do both of those. So we will do our Zoom session next week and then I won't do that Thursday. because I do have to get some sleep. I tried it last week and I'm telling y'all, it was a mess. We did it. We pulled it off, but I was tired as heck. So thank you guys for joining. Thank you as usual, my dear sister Marilyn. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Marilyn, have you done your YouTube channel yet? Marilyn has a Etsy shop. Marilyn, is your Etsy shop still, you're up, right? You're up and running. Y'all check out Marilyn. Marilyn's gonna have to drop, you gotta drop your info, Marilyn, in the chat. Have there been Zooming? Yes. Do you have the L? Okay, I gotta make sure I'm sending it to you. But L, if ever, Wednesday's coming around, if you don't get it, just hit me. But the Zoom sessions are they're in the Google Drive. So L, if you don't have access to the Google Drive, let me know, and then I'll just send you access. But even the last one that we did, all those Zoom sessions are in that Google Drive. So let me know if you have access, L, so you can always go back and catch those. Y'all, before you go, let's see if we made any money, because that thing did go up. Okay, so we made $3. I ain't mad. We'll see what happens by the end of the session today. All right, loves, it's been real. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you so much for coming. Please don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and do all of that. Is it Caribbean Day? Well, happy Caribbean Day, everybody. And I'm out for now, you guys. I will see you next week, Tuesday for live trading, and then Wednesday for our Zoom session next week. Thanks. You guys, please, guess what? Watch the replay. Somebody just told me we don't even get credit for these hours. If it's live, you only get credit if people watch it in the replay. I don't know how true it is. But if you don't catch it now, watch it in the replay and catch it and tell somebody else to watch the replay. All right, folks. Happy trading. I'm out.